Well, let me start by thanking everybody for being here. But more important than that, I want to thank the governors of the United States of America who are standing with Texas. Half of the governors of the United States have joined with Texas in our cause to make sure states can do everything possible to secure our border.
For me, Alpha Brain is the very best.
Half of the governors that have joined the cause to support Texas are joining us at this event today. And we are here to send a loud and clear message that we are banding together to fight to ensure that we will be able to maintain our constitutional guarantee that states will be able to defend against any type of imminent danger or an invasion. That has been threatened by Joe Biden and his abject refusal to enforce the immigration laws of the United States of America. The laws of the United States passed by Congress, they require the president to deny illegal entry. To the contrary of denying illegal entry, he has aided and abetted that illegal entry. If somebody makes it across the border illegally, the president has the responsibility imposed by Congress to detain any illegal immigrant who's come here. As opposed to detaining any illegal immigrant, Biden instead has let them all loose across the entire country with no ability to accurately determine their whereabouts or what they may be doing. Because of this, we've seen the catastrophic consequences of Joe Biden's open border policies. Over the tenure of Joe Biden, we've had 3 Houstons cross the border illegally. All-time records. And we see the dangers every single day. Just to recount a few that happened just this past year. The Texas Department of Public Safety, they arrested an MS-13 gang member who was on the terrorist watch list. Know this, there are people on the terrorist watch list that are apprehended all the time coming across the border. These are people who pay extra money not to be caught. The United States of America and the president do not know how many people have crossed the border illegally who are on the terrorist watch list and have never been seen. They do not know the imminent dangers that we may be facing. Another example is, once again, the Texas Department of Public Safety. They arrested somebody who came across the border illegally who had served in the army, in the military, for Iran. Why is this person here? Why were they trying to sneak in illegally? What were they going to try to do? We were fortunate to be able to apprehend him, but who knows what would have happened had we not apprehended him. And then you see the deadly loss of life. We saw it just outside of the Houston area last year when we saw an illegal immigrant who had come across the border illegally 4 times murder 5 people outside of Houston, Texas. These are crimes that don't happen now and then. These are crimes that happen all the time. Part of it is because, as set forth by the Texas Department of Public Safety, we have people who are coming across our border who were released from prison in other countries. There was a person who was apprehended who was wanted for rape charges, another who was wanted for murder charges. There's extraordinary danger, imminent danger, crossing our border all the time. And of course, Americans are not going to soon forget what they saw happen in New York City, where we saw illegal immigrants brutalize and beat up police officers in New York City, only to be immediately released on bail back out on the streets, causing no one knows what level of mayhem. Because of the extraordinary dangers that the state of Texas is sustaining, as well as states across the country. And because Joe Biden has completely abdicated and abandoned his responsibility to enforce the laws of the United States, I have used a clause in the Constitution that empowers states to defend themselves. It's Article 1, Section 10, Clause 3 of the United States Constitution, where a state can defend itself and its citizens to protect their safety from the imminent danger that we are facing and from an invasion of millions of people coming from across the globe into our country who are unaccounted for whatsoever. And I applaud and thank the members of the governors who are with us here today for stepping up and standing beside, behind, and with Texas in this effort. We're all fighting for a safer, more secure border and country, and I thank them for all they do. Now I'm going to turn it over to Bill Lee, the governor of the great state of Tennessee, a state, by the way, that from the very beginning of Texas history has always been here for the great state of Texas.
Governor, you and for all the other governors here, you guys have, a lot of people have said that this is, things like this in an election year are just a political stunt by Republicans. What do you guys all say to that?
Say that to the average American. The average American is angry. The number one issue in the United States of America is the broken border and the illegal immigration that Joe Biden has created. We don't have time to wait till November. We got lives on the line every single day. Say that to the parents who have lost a child to deadly fentanyl. There's growing in number across the country. There are lives at risk every single day. It's like every police officer in every city in our great state that understands that they have a daily duty to make sure that their communities are safe, regardless of when elections take place. We as governors have that responsibility to make sure that our states and our country are going to be safe from the illegal immigration crossing.
And Governor, I would just remind you too that many of the governors here were here. When was that?
Right,
a year
exactly.
ago. Way before the campaign started, on the same issue, writing letters to Joe Biden about how to fix the border, the executive action that he could take. So this is not a campaign tactic. This is something that this group and the Republican governors have been concerned with for many, many months and years.
Speech on the House floor this week. I cannot understand why President Biden would not use his existing executive authority that he has right now to stop this. He won't.
Instead, he said things like, give me the power, give me this,
give me
that. Yeah.
He knows that he has the authority. We've documented it for him. I've read to him the law, myself, to the president, read him the provisions of the law and said, Mr. President, please take action. I don't think he's allowed to do it. I'm not sure Joe Biden is actually making these decisions. I think it's staff around him, and they're pushing him to hold to keep the border open.
Yeah, I mean, that's what it seems like. People are wondering who's actually running the country.
So we will continue to expand our efforts. Our declaration is a declaration of our rights under the United States Constitution, Article 1, Section 10, Clause 3, that guarantees the right of every state that's either invaded or in imminent danger, which we are in imminent danger, to be able to exercise self-defense. Texas will continue to exercise that self-defense and expand the area where we are using that self-defense to make sure we are able to better protect our communities.
Two more questions. State laws set to go illegally as invaders.
Say it again now.
Why brand mothers and children, civilians crossing between ports of entry illegally as invaders?
So I can't understand the details of your question. I'm going to answer it to the best I can. The fact of the matter is, if you look behind you, there are people crossing right now. They're crossing that bridge. A couple of things about that. One is that whether it be here, El Paso, Brownsville, or parts in between, there are thousands of people who cross back and forth every single day for work purposes, for visiting purposes, for tourism purposes, whatever the case may be. That's perfectly fine. What is completely illegal is for people to enter between a port of entry. Think about this astonishing fact. Under Joe Biden, a record number of people have died in this river right behind us. And they die in that river because they try crossing in that river. Why in the world don't they just go up a few steps and cross across that bridge, which is an official port of entry? Texas has 28 ports of entry. Get this fact. No one has ever drowned crossing a bridge. If Joe Biden cared about the safety of these migrants that he seems to have empathy for, he would have them cross a bridge as opposed to crossing a river and paying the money that goes to the cartels to cross the river.